Mailbag preview show episode 279, joined by Jack Dickens and Rob Scurry. Jack, talk to me about today, Lazy Susan.
Uh, just adding to what are some of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. Added to it, Rob. I didn't want to tell you till we started recording. I was out there by myself. Got out past $4, which is what I said in the update. I think $4 or big is a complete gift. The unraced horse, how good is it? The trial's okay. And we sort of had a line on the other horse, and I thought if our horse sort of took the progression that I expected her to take, she's going to be a lot better than that greater race. So $4 or better was a bet, and I'm just sitting there just nibbling personally. And then I look down, and just 1 second. I look down, and it's like I'm taking sort of 420, 440, 465. Yeah, a little suck on the vape, getting a bit excited. Drift isn't good, but who cares? They don't
Yeah.
always know. Look back down to 270. I'm like,
Ooh.
what? Like within a blink, like a millisecond, I've gone, oh, they were steamed here. Then I remembered I had rewinded it twice to watch her parade twice, and the race was in play. So luckily the door was open, and I sort of flung my phone outside, so I didn't want to see anything from like Jono or another owner saying what happened. Just
Yeah.
got it to the start in my own time, and then I roared and I woke up Lenny, and it's been a long afternoon ever since because I broke her out of a nap. But class half like much quicker than the 64 same day, which is a grade she'll go to next start. I think a track record, a phenomenal result for everyone who bought in. She was a relatively expensive horse, John, really, for a tried horse off that profile. But we said she'd win a maiden, and she's done that at that first attempt, and it's just a very rewarding experience. Added on top, cherry on top. What was a cherry on top, do you reckon, Rob?
Oh, you forgot you had a back bet or something?
Nah, the
You
golden
got
tonsils. TB calling it.
okay.
What could be better than that? Terence,
It
he
was
looks after us.
it was great. Billy Pinn, he must have. I must check what his record is for us. He's
Mm.
been pretty good. So um,
Almost could have been better if he could have got the job done on had remember his left hand there on All England. But
exactly.
doing a great job, Billy Pin.
Indeed. Now we've made a purchase during the week.
Yeah.
Gorillo. Talk to me about him, Jack.
27,500 horse. Started at 11, 10, sort of $9 on Saturday at Caulfield. Again, Billy, our man, wasn't one of his better rides. It was three wide, no cover the whole way. On a track that I don't think suited him. Um, and I actually had an investment upon that horse on Saturday, and now I've invested in buying that whole horse on Wednesday. Um, Doing our research, there's a good connection with Gav and Mick Kent, and that horse wasn't like anywhere near wound up on Saturday. Weren't even sure if they're going to run. It likely goes to the races in a week. You've already booked a rider and everything like that. So I don't think this horse is going to be an absolute superstar, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Nice sound horse, on pace, handles wet ground. At that distance, at that trip, that's quite weak, and they sort of turn take a little bit in Victoria. Change his environment a little bit, and look to place him just a little bit better and get him right tactically. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with him. But again, we buy these yearlings, and some of them we're still waiting to see if they're any good. This horse will be racing in a week. So if you want to get involved in a horse with us, I'd highly recommend throwing yourself into this one. In 2 months' time, we could well be out of him, sort of thing.
Hmm.
We'll just play it as it comes. Try and make good decisions. We've started to move in and out of horses as we think we've got to the bottom of them, with reasonable success too. Even horse like All England, we paid 37 for him, I think, or 30 or something like that, John, and raced him a few seconds, thirds, top of my head, but then we were able to sell him for 27 and a half. So the overall structure of the whole thing's working really well now, and I'm excited about this horse, Gorillo, who will be at the races within a week. So if you want to get involved, email Jono, Jono, at the Mailbag. Yeah, he heads to Gav, who's Jesus. He's doing great things. And if that doesn't work and we want to continue on, we'll plan to move him to provincial New South Wales. That's our plan.
Indeed, about half gone already. So obviously be quick if you are keen to get involved. Right, let's crack into it. Randwick, Rob.
Rail true,
Yeah.
off fence, maybe 2-3 wide. Love it. I reckon it'll be fast times. It'll be a beautiful sunny day. I reckon it'll be busy. One of my favourite meetings of the year. Epsom Day. I think we've got at least 1 2-year-old race. Haven't looked at the fields too much. Haven't tried not to think about it. Trying to, just go there and enjoy it on the day and make some good decisions. Because my 20-unit challenge is coming to an end. It's the last day. I had a bad day at Rosehill yesterday. So I'm now 4 units behind. Want to get paid next month. I've got to win. So anyway, the good thing, I've got a good thing on the day. I think should win, and I guess we can get to that at some point. How is that going? We haven't touched on.
Oh yeah, no, I did skip over that. Not on purpose, I promise. But you extend out to 71% pop. Jack and myself, Jack drops to 38%. Myself.
Oh, what was my best last week?
Yellow Sam or something.
Oh, it's a big show for Billy Pinn.
Yeah. Anyway,
$5 on the show. That was $5 that started $3.20 favourite.
Yeah, look, I don't care what races we cover at on the show. You want to do the Group 1s or whatever. Yeah. I'll have something to say about all of them. I know all these horses. They're all sort of 3rd, 4th, 5th up now. So,
well, there's race 2 and race 3 are both the 2-year-olds, all unraced. So we'll skip over those.
I haven't even looked at the trials. I was reading something about, I think it was Proven, was saying that the earlier you get your horse to these trials and these races, the shorter basically their career is going to be. And all these expensive babies, it's basically stallion lotto. You're just hoping for a really good one that you can retire in about 6 months, 6 to 9 months time, I reckon.
Yeah. All right. So should we jump? We'll jump straight into the first Group 1 then, which is race 6, the Flight Stakes for the fillies. Race 6 for you, Jack. Tis Invincible. Just do it again, Rob.
Yeah, I said at the start of the series, this form just holds up. They seem to the placings just continue to be the placings throughout the series. We've had Tis Invincible beat Kimochi. Autumn Ballet's just fallen away a little bit. And the other guy that's coming up, nice horse out of Prized Icon. The score one for Hippo, that'll make sure that it's no loafing. But Kimochi's, once more to the breadth. I think we put in the notification last week. I thought she ran enormous. She looked the best in the yard. The scary thing is, though, is Tis Invincible continued to look like she half short a run, and she'd probably keep improving and probably just win again. But I don't know how I get away from Kimochi.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting what you sort of say and think. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
That Prized Icon, has it had many to the races? I haven't noticed.
I don't think so. Not many at all. It's a funny little. It's only a little filly, but she's little yet a little bit leggy. I'm not sure how far she can go, but I think she's definitely a talented horse and will be better even in the autumn. But Tis Invincible probably keeps winning. I'd probably do the exactor again and they run 1st and 3rd this time instead.
It'd be fascinating to see what you actually say about Molly Knickers. I think she's quite progressive. She's formed through Charmstone that stood up last Saturday in a Group 1 versus the boys. So I reckon she's going to go really, really well. But I want to see pattern evidence that it's okay. Barrier 1 scares me. And I just want to see what old Roberto says from the yard. I want to hear what they're whispering to you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the whisper, bloody Jackson Oldham's is tipped out at like 17, or some of the subs have got on at $20. So I think they've gambled well but badly because it's drawn barrier 1, and I think inside barriers, I don't think we'll see many barrier 1, 2, 3 winning. Maybe early in the day, maybe in the 2-year-old races where they're just a bit faster. I guess the staying races might be a bit different, but from that 1,200-1,400 meters, I'm expecting wide barriers to be significantly advantaged.
One of your favourite horses comes up in race 7, drawn barrier 2. Think about it.
Think about it.
Well, he'll just
think about it. It's like a gambling ad. It's a horse.
Yeah, well, he's probably the best horse in Australia. But, he is. He's a mile. He's not a 1,200 meter horse. He runs like a 1,600, 2,000 meter horse. That's his action.
Yeah.
But he's actually really, really fast. He can keep that big stride going. I expect him to pin the lids. I'm disgusted to see his even money, I guess, but he's a horse that should have won 10 out of 10 races. But yeah, funnily enough, he's not my best of the day, just because of that price. But there's a good chance if the service is 4 units behind and running out of time, it could be all think about it just to because I just think he's just a winner. Couple of horses scared me in the race, like Mazu looks like a better value. I had something on Lost and Running. It couldn't have gone any worse.
How does Remark end up a $21 shot? Is that the 1,200 that people be against there?
Yeah, and it only seems to win first up. Was its form tapered off last time in, and it won first up. But
yeah,
big day for Mazu.
Yeah, well, he's been in the last, I think, couple of Everest.
His starting spot in Everest on the line, I reckon. You need to play well this week, son. I'm going to have to put you in the 2 sort of stuff.
But yeah, look, the thing about think about it, he's one of those horses that they won't want to get past him. He won't want the other horses to get past him. He's an absolute winner. But the scary thing is, this is just really is a warm up for them. His grand finals in 2 weeks' time, but from what I've heard, he's stronger and better. And first up last time in, we took $4 against Bacchanalia at Gosford. Now I've got to take even money against Mazu and Lost and Running.
Yeah.
Is it a good bet? And am I totally emotionally swayed by my
from a low draw too? If you're predicting,
I know, but I just don't think there's all that much speed, and I think it just pings. If you've watched all his trials like I have, and if you've watched all his races, the horse just pings out of the gate every start. He's gonna land half a length in front, and I think the jockey will know that 1 out, 1 back will be his goal.
All right, cool. We'll move on to Jack. Did you have anything to add there? The Premier? No. Race 8, another Group 1, the Epsom.
Horse named after Rob's heart here. There's a few.
What's that one, mate?
Oh, I was gonna say
political debate.
The inevitable political debate, Democracy Manifest. Probably my favorite for you, Communist. There's a lot. Hope in your heart.
Yeah,
describe you a lot. Just a kind man who sees the best in people. Yeah. Oh,
thank you, mate. Look, I think it's just a Epsom. I don't think it's a particularly strong Epsom. Democracy Manifest. It's got Tyler Schiller and it's got Gate 1. But it's a horse that's going to be nearly last. But its win at Newcastle the other day was sensational. And if he's $20, I think that's some sort of value, even though he's with his racing pattern.
I think $16 is value for that horse.
Yeah.
I think he can hold a better spot than that and just pray for luck. But at that price point, who sort of cares? 51 kilos, huge price, flying. This would have been the race for it. It brings there's a lot of just like the same old form in this race. They either come from a Randwick 400 or a Rosehill 400, top of my head. I did it late last night. He brings that Newcastle form. I think he's a big fat price. And I agree, though, he could well drift, and then you just sort of don't even need to think.
Yeah, you've also got Tyler Schiller on, who's I think he's in the top 3 riders in Sydney. He just seems to constantly get it done on horses outside the market. Anyway, not that I look at that kind of thing too often, but I'm a bit of a rat for Tyler these days. So, I just like to find him.
Tell you a horse I reckon they'll back, or they have backed it. Pounding. Iron Horse.
Mhm.
Maybe the toughest horse in Australia. It just goes and goes and goes and comes off tempos. You think, oh, that might have gassed it. And then it just keeps going. Jamie Carr on 54 kilos. I think $10 is probably enough, but like he was $16 when I did this last night. And I was sort of thinking, it's okay. I was sort of thinking, take $16, sort of both of them. You know, you got an inside, outside, forward and midfield, probably just worse than midfield, and then just pray because it does look like a low addition. And
Well, the only other low kind. Well, this is from a low down state, Tasmania, the inevitable. I think that horse's run the other day was sensational, and it just seems to be flying. But a little champion from the Apple Isle, he's got to be in this, Jack.
100%. I just think like the $7 is pretty rock bottom. You know, like
With
if
local
I had
jockey.
if I had to tip three horses, it's the two I mentioned and the inevitable. I would not be shocked if Alencia just jumped out of the ground, just like Uncle Chris behavior, you know?
Yeah.
We've got an extremely good horse on our hands, starts $1.80 or whatever, then just goes boop, 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 bang, granny day, out of the skin. That's got Uncle Chris stuff written all over it to me, tinfoil hat sort of stuff. They're probably the four numbers I'd have if I gave four numbers. It'd be Democracy Manifest, Pounding, The Inevitable, and Alencia, the 20.
I'm going to let it go there, Chris, but I agree with you. The other three, Converge, we're on last start. If that wins and I'm not on, it'll just annoy me because anyway. It's got to improve second up, but probably needs the track a bit softer.
All right, perfect. The Metrop is the next one, the Group 1. Do we want to briefly touch on that? Is there any? No. Jack, you got anything to add? No.
Well, right. It's got to be the lowest Group 1.
Yeah, this horse was like an 82 rater like a month ago or 6 weeks ago, and now it's $1.70 and could just about win the Caulfield Cup or something. If it wins this and then goes, that'll probably be the path. It'll start pretty short there, which just shows how terrible the stayers are in this country. And anyway, I think it'd probably go well. I'm interested in Cleveland. I backed that at Newcastle. Didn't think it had a lot of luck. I think at 2,400 is okay for it. But yeah, I don't have much else to say outside that.
Cool. Right. Let's go to Kiwiland.
That'll do us for Rammer. Yep. We'll briefly...
hang on. Take us to the Moral Town, Rob.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. This
is 71% pot.
Strike rate is about 66 or something. But anyway, it's in Tom Kitten. I think you asked me a couple of weeks ago, who would I like to own on type? And Tom Kitten was my answer in the mile. He ran enormous the other day. That form behind NCAP has been, I think, stamped. I think some smart ass said that they were no good, everything in that NCAP race. But I think we can put that to bed. NCAP's a proper horse. Stiff not to win the other week. Anyway, Tom Kitten for me, 230 middle barrier, Natural Willer. I think it's even better suited at Randwick, and a run on day suits it. It should be even money. Maybe I'll send it. Maybe I'll take the 240. What do you think, Jack? I get nervous around this sort of price point, but in my head it's $1.95.
It worked for Peace Officer.
I don't know what the answer is to that. Look, I just price. The price takes care of everything now. So you don't I don't care what price it is. If it's 240, but I think it's $1.90 shot, then I have to bet.
Yeah.
If it lines up everything else, I like the map and everything.
All right.
But I remember back just doing the yard. Yeah, you kind of like, ooh, much prefer to have the old 2 units on a little $7 shot.
No, yeah, so it's just 1.25 on a $4 shot. But yeah, this is all in business. This is as big as we go. If I'm tipping this sort of price, I have to push.
I like it.
280 with Peace Officer. Yeah, you gave me a nudge the other day with Cylinder as well. When that won. God, that was a big run. We're going to talk about the Golden Rose at all?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Which horse do you reckon is the most progressive horse out of that race?
I think it's Cylinder now. Like he looked like I said on the message. This is the A1 stallion prospect, the top colt. And he pinged, and then Nash had a little think for a second, thought he might get one out, one back. It ended up still running third. How is it not the run of the race? NCAP was huge. I think the jockey went early if he follows the other thing, which is my only knock on the race. The Heron horse just kept kicking outside leader. Butch Cassidy. So maybe I'm getting overexcited and maybe the form isn't as good as I think, but it usually is the grouse 3-year-old form, the Golden Rose.
Cylinder down the straight, you reckon, Derby Day?
Well, why not Everest? I know they've got In Secret as well, but
it is in the Everest, isn't it? It is, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
it is, yeah. They announced during the week In Secret and Cylinder. One's running in James Heron's slot and one's running in Godolphin. I think Godolphin have In Secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's my tip for the Everest at
this
stage, Jack. I'm
Zach Ferdinand In Secret as well. I think I read.
I can't believe think about it. Just about favourite for the Everest. It's just madness.
Oh well, only because Kid Kick pulled a hammy going too quick in a very slow tempo race.
All right,
going as good as ever it was.
We'll briefly touch on New Zealand. Hastings. This is my best bet. Hastings race 2, number 2, Channel Surfer. It was going around as New Zealand's best maiden for a while there. Form around Pierre, Intimidator, Wild Knight, Prowess, those sort of horses. But then, obviously couldn't break through at that level, dropped down to maiden first up this prep. Won just, albeit a good run. And that form stacked up. We have a special conditions maiden, which is basically all the runners were maiden at a certain date, which you guys don't have, so I don't know where we got that from. But anyway, so Channel Surfer, race 2, number 2 is my best. Briefly touch on the Group 1. It's hard to know. It's a great field. Legato, Sharp and Smart, Campionessa, La Creek, but it's possibly going to be a bit too wet for some of those, so they might drop out. But looks a great race anyway. That's pretty much it.
What's your how bad are you going now after the?
Still above you.
Very good for you.
So
still above you. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. I'm happy to stand.
Where's the Turnbull Stakes Sunday meeting? What's going on? Is that? I'm just looking at the guide now and saying we're at Ladbrokes Park Hillside on Sunday. What's the story?
Jack. Sorry, I wasn't listening.
What's the Sandown meeting Sunday?
Yeah, they're just trying to give some love to Sandown. I don't know why they are. To be honest, I think it would have been a good meeting for Caulfield, but
it's got the Sandown
two tracks there. They only use one of them at the moment. But it would be a better meeting to be able to go to the races, I reckon, and then be able to kick on because it's Sunday after the AFL Grand Final and there's NRL Grand Final on and stuff to do. Where Sandown's a little bit far away, I think, if you thinking about doing both. It is one of the great weekends of all time in the city. Like tomorrow night, you kick off at the Valley with Group 1 racing. You can roll into an AFL granny. You'll watch it in a pub. The whole joint will be humming, and then you got grouse racing on the Sunday. So it's a phenomenal time of year. Do you want me to start previewing races? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's start with the Valley.
So sorry, my wife, not my wife, my partner's ill, and I've got both children, and they're doing a good job, but they're not perfect. A bit like me. But,
my man says they can't be perfect all the time as long as they're good at home, Jack. The kids.
Yeah, they're great. They're just not prepared to be silent for 35 minutes. They're 4 and 2, so I'm not going to get too shitty with them.
No, you can't. They're doing very well.
Moonee Valley punters, very tricky card. I thought on pace suited, rail in the true. That's how we're going to start. That's how we're going to finish most likely. We have Exeter going around in race 3, which if you love him, you can sort of make half a case for. But he's got to try and beat Najim. So hail the great man, hail. He's a very, very nice animal. Comes off that suicidal tempo up the inside there, down the straight at Flemington. Trust the camp to have him right. Mark Zara goes on. He looks extremely hard to beat to me. I think I'm going to say better the month. I almost said better the year. Now, this best bet translates, it's going to run Friday night or it may run on Sunday. All right. And it's my best bet at both. And if it runs at both and creates history, I'm on it twice. Okay. Moonee Valley, race 5, number 8, Verdad. Beautiful piece of work winning at Bendigo. I think the rest of them bring the same chunky form from Flemington, that really heavy wind day, or that suicidal Fist of Fury race. It's missed a piece of work. It was scratched at the barriers on Sunday at Flemington. So I don't even know if they're aiming at this. Yeah, I just think I can't believe it was 650. 650. Let me just confirm that. 550. Oh, I would not be surprised if it started favourite. Or I might be out on the island by myself, in my opinion here, but I think they'll come to it. It'll roll forward, it'll make its own luck. And the same story will be at Sandown on Sunday. He's a shorter price there, or she. I don't even know what it is, to be honest.
Oh, look.
It's a he.
He's a shorter price on Sunday than he is on Friday night, but I actually think the race on Friday night, which is a better race, it's a group race, is a better option for the horse. You know, if we owned it, we'd be running Friday night. Just a bit more weirder stuff going on the Sunday meeting, a little bit more pace on paper. I think he just controls this race and wins. And
Favourite's got a horrible map.
Which one's the favourite?
Griff,
yeah,
number 1.
And Griff was given one of the great rides of all time by Mark Zara last start on a heavy wind affected day. It didn't see the wind until it had to get into its work and win.